The Dems have lost their minds. And when you lose your mind, you say crazy shit. We've all been there. We've all lost our mind every now and then in our lifetime. So we know what they're doing. And when I say that sometimes we say crazy stuff when we lose our minds, well, that's exactly what we have here. Because Democrats are running in Michigan, swing state district, says, you, Americans, oh, what? Oh, well, you owe a debt. This is too rich. It's too early. It's too early. Owe a debt to who? You see it. There's a lot of people listening on audio that are working, right? Actually doing hard labor. I'm in their ears. Yeah, it says owe a debt to illegal immigrants. I'm going to say that again so it's clear. Owe a debt to illegal immigrants. Now, of course, it's coming from a Democrat, right? You would never be caught dead being a Republican and saying this type of crap. So Michigan U.S. House candidate Curtis Hurdle, a Democrat, of course, was caught on video telling a voter that Americans owe a debt to illegal immigrants, adding that he has no interest in deporting anybody. Of course not, because it turns into votes. Why would you? You have 30 to 40 million illegal immigrants present time in the country right now, which is more than half the population of our states. Of course you wouldn't want to deport anybody, because you know, percentage-wise, that 90 roughly percent of them are going to vote Democrat their first time voting. And a lot of them are going to vote in this election. That's why we got to get out and vote, make it too big to rig. What's going on, Shores? 1, 2, 3D Shores, baby. What's going on, Drag? I see y'all in the chat. The video obtained by the conservative outlet, The Midwesterner, that's a cool name, showed Hurdle discussing his immigration policy. What policy? If you're like, yeah, I don't want to deport anybody, allow them all in, they're going to get the right to vote. There is no policy there. You're just allowing things to happen. Hurdle was speaking to voters at a meet and greet. Nobody showed up. I've said, for example, in the past, that we should respect those that have tried to come here, because even if they haven't done it legally, we owe them a debt. What do we owe them? What? And I really mean, I don't know what he's talking about. What debt do we have to pay them back for? I don't know. But you got to love that, right? We should respect them. But they don't sit there and respect our laws. They don't sit there and respect us. They beat the crap. I'm trying to watch my language today, if you notice. They beat the crap out of cops, right? They murder and rape little children. They sex traffic children. They sell drugs to Americans like fentanyl that's killed 250,000+ of them since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been in office. Like, I mean, the list really does go on, right? Out competing our freaking economy, or in other words, Americans in that economy. Like, they took the risk for their family. And there's nothing more American than that. Oh my God, it got better. No freaking way. Oh, the cojones on this guy. Like, they took the risk for their family, and there's nothing more American than that. What a slap in the face to Americans. Wow. Holy lordy. Does it get any better here? Asked if he would work with Republicans on pushing for deportations, Hurdle replied, no, I don't think I have an interest in deporting anybody. So there's the footage if you want from the Midwesterner. We're not going to play it just because I read it. But that's how Democrats think. I mean, that is a great example of where their party is at, where they think that you actually owe somebody else something. We don't owe anybody shit. I don't owe anybody a damn thing. One, I'm literally debt free, but I don't owe anybody anything other than maybe the Patriots for doing the Ball Brad show here, because we got members, baby. Hell yeah, thank you. Right? You pay for membership, you deserve some content. This is crap, man. That's why you gotta get out of vote. This is what they want. The fact that you have this amount of illegal immigrants in the country shows that your own government is against you. And case in point, what the Biden-Harris administration's policies have always been, going against the American people. And all of a sudden, in the span of just 3 months now, really, it was a span of 48 hours, Kamala Harris came out as the new nominee of the Democrat Party without a single vote. So right there, just right at the beginning, they don't care what American citizens have to say. They don't care what your ideas are. They don't care about who you want. They nominated Kamala Harris without even doing a primary. They put her up. Remember, one of the worst VPs ever Nobody liked her. Her ratings were worse than Joe, by the way. Her poll ratings were worse than Joe. And they put her forth. The same individual that sat there and had policies that made you second-class citizens, and you're seeing an individual here, part of the Democrat Party, that sits there and says that you owe a debt to illegal immigrants. Maybe that makes a little bit of sense now on why they're giving them $84,000 in Chicago. They're giving them all the services for free. I've always said this, you guys. Yeah, there is inflation. And yes, that was partially caused to supply chain issues during COVID that had long-term effects. But it also had to do with Joe Biden, with the breaking vote by Kamala Harris, because she was involved in everything, that sat there and caused the 40-year 9.1 record inflation, where you lost thousands of dollars. You have to make upwards of 17, I'm going to be generous here with the interval, $17,000 to $34,000 under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris than you did under Donald Trump just to break even. Just to live at the same level as you did under Donald Trump, you have to make anywhere between $17,000 and $34,000 more. But don't worry, they're going to fix it. You know what they said? Just give us another 4 years. We'll figure it out then. Well, why don't you figure it out now? Why is Joe Biden right now, while I'm talking, on vacation again? If you have all these great ideas, why are you holding Americans hostage? If you have all these great ideas, why don't you start implementing it now? And let's see how great those policies truly are. But they're not. And she doesn't have any policies. That's why they're not doing anything. They don't have half a brain cell. But, you know, they're just going to call all of us Nazis and Hitler and youth and all this crazy stuff that doesn't even make sense. We have this saga continuing with Virginia. And as I stated previously, Glenn Youngkin was trying to get these illegal immigrants off the voter rolls so they're not able to vote. No shocker there, no big deal. That makes sense to me. You're not part of the country, so you shouldn't be able to vote. You don't have that right. Well, as I mentioned, a Biden-appointed judge said, no, sir, you got to keep them on the voter rolls. They get the vote. And Glenn Youngkin just the other day goes, well, shit, what are we going to do? We got an update. It's common sense. Virginia asked the Supreme Court to allow removal of non-citizens from voter rolls. I don't know how the Supreme Court doesn't step in here and just start taking in all these, because that should not be allowed. Virginia filed an appeal in the U.S. Supreme Court after Biden-appointed judge ruled last week that the Commonwealth must put non-citizens back on its voter rolls. Isn't that insane that I'm even reading that? Wasn't that wild? She retracted it. It didn't get deleted. She retracted it. Peggy. Or sorry, not Peggy. Danielle. She retracted it, not me. Put non-citizens back on its voter rolls just days before the 2024 election. U.S. judge ordered was kept in place by a federal judge appeals that we read before. So in a unanimous ruling, the three judges on the appeals court said, so it's unanimous, isn't that insane? There's three of them. That the process for removing non-citizens during a 20-day quiet period before the election by using data from the Department of Motor Vehicles appears to violate the National Voter Registration Act. So we're going to keep illegals on there. No big deal. So it wasn't just like one, it was three. That makes things even worse. So he sat there and he's appealing to the Supreme Court. Okay, so that's what's going on there. That's the update. Will they get to it in time? Probably not. Probably not. But we got massive issues here.